Welcome to the very first episode of License in Hand. Today we have a special guest with us, Captain Raunaq Sandhu. From horse riding to rock climbing, scuba diving, as well as a love for adventure sports in general, he is now making his transition into the world of airline flying.
Thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be here.
Coming from a Navy family background, was aviation always on your mind?
I would say aviation was kind of it was always there because, if you look at my childhood, like I have been brought up in a lot of naval bases and, there were always air bases also nearby. So it was always there. Like, while going to school, we used to always cross the runways and go. So like aviation was always there. So it generated a very keen interest for me since, very beginning of, my childhood. So I would say it was a key part of it.
That sounds great. Were you also interested in ships growing up?
I would say yes, because my father was majorly posted in the south side and we had a lot of naval bases. And yeah, because he was also commanding a lot of ships, I used to do frequent ship visits. So even ships were interesting, but there was something about aircraft, like I don't know how to explain it, because as a child you don't have much reasoning, and so I still feel that even though I had been on more ships than lesser aircrafts, but in the end aircrafts had I was connected to them in a very different way.
Getting to be on ships is quite fascinating. So, how was it like growing up, being around ships and being in ships?
So I feel that it was fun, and it was fun and dangerous at the same time. And again, like one school used to end, and majority of my friends, because majority of our friends, they're all from the defense background. So everyone's family knows each other. So if we go to visit my dad, I'm not the only one who's coming to visit my dad. It's me and a bunch of friends whose parents know my parents, and it's like that. So we used to go on. We used to go visit ships with to meet our parents and everything. And it always used to turn out to be an hide and seek game after that. Somebody is looking for somebody, and it used to be fun.
Any favorite story of yours from a ship that you can tell us?
I believe one of my favorite moments of a ship was we were going for for a small trip from Cochin to Minicoy, which is the southernmost island in Lakshadweep Islands. And during this patrolling, we had gone on INS Sujata, which is a frigate ship. And this ship had, we basically stopped in the ocean, middle of nowhere, and everyone just came on the hello deck, and we were just jumping off the ship to the sea and going for a nice little swim and then climbing back up. So I feel like that is the most funniest experience.
That sounds like great fun.
Yeah.
And something which most of us can only dream of doing. Did you start your aviation journey right after class 12?
So I did not do that. After my 12th, I went for my engineering, and I did my engineering in electronics and communication from a university in Punjab called Chitkara University. The reason that I did not go for aviation directly after 12th was because I was keen to join the armed forces again as a pilot, and I wanted to prepare for FCAT, CDS, and other exams that we have. Now, the issue became that if you wanted to go as a pilot in these forces, you had to had graduation. And at that time, Navy had come with the scheme that they're only going to be hiring engineers. So that's how I decided that I'll go for engineering after my 12th, so that I get more avenues to enter the armed forces as a pilot. So that was the reason that I did my education in engineering. And later on, when I figured out, I started my CPL journey, side by side, and that's how I came into commercial aviation later.
That's very interesting. So, did you always dream of being a pilot with the armed forces, or were you also interested in commercial aviation?
I would say that my keen interest was in aircrafts. I later realized that, it's, after all, I just want to fly, be it a fighter pilot or be it be it an Airbus or Boeing. I was more keen on, just to get inside the cockpit of the aircraft and, and fly it. So that's why, when I had given my defense exams, I had started my preparing for my CPL exams and my medicals and RTR side by side. And it was just that this avenue opened, the commercial aviation avenue opened for me pretty earlier than the military one. So that door opened, I just walked in. And
That's great. How did your engineering degree help you in terms of aviation?
So, since I told you that I did my engineering in electronics and communication, we had a lot of different kind of subjects that we studied, and even though it was just electronics communication, I had done a lot of coding subjects also, like C, C++, Python, and I would say that these subjects that I had I was studying for 4 years, they helped me to understand. Like how basically a system works. Like I even understood how basically an integrated chip or a microprocessor basically works. And I feel initially when I came into CPL, it did not make much sense to me. But later on, when I started doing my type rating, when we came across little complicated systems and everything, then the dots connected, and then I could see that what is the advantage of being an engineer, that you are able to relate to it, you're able to understand all the systems because of the prior knowledge. You understand it much quicker and into a better depth than other people. So I feel engineering was always a boon. Like I would like to say that knowledge is something that will never go to waste. Even if you study something that is not related to your career, some or other time in your life, it will always come in handy.
You did your flying training in India. What made you decide to pursue your training in India and not abroad?
So I felt that doing my flying training in India was beneficial for me because I had family support was there. Like if I require if I fall ill or not well, my parents are there to take care of me. Also, because I was working in the IT sector that time, I had work from home, so it turned out beneficial for me. Like I cannot go to another country and work according to a different time zone. So it just laid out in my favor. So that's why I decided to do my flying in India.
You worked in IT and corporate for a few years. How did working there help you in terms of aviation?
I would say when I was working in these IT companies, I was working with a lot of teams, all right, because I was not working dedicatedly under one, like under a team. I was working in multiple teams at once. So it basically the benefit that I got from there was time optimization. So meeting the deadlines from this branch or this branch. So that was something that actually I'm still able to inculcate in my daily life. That I'm able to plan out my day super fast. Like I set small timers for me. Like if I'm doing some work, I'll assign this much time and try to complete it within that particular assorted time.
And what was the turning point during your working in IT where you decided that it's time to pursue aviation again?
So I finished my engineering in the year of 2018. 2019, I started like I took about a year to for my defense exams, and I had started doing my research for how to become a commercial pilot. 2019, I did my medicals, and by 2020, I had finished with all of my written exams. During this entire time period, I was still working as a I was working in the IT company, and so that was it. And but if I would even during my flying training, because COVID came during my flying training and flying school shut down, so I was able to pick up freelance jobs also based on that. And again, the only advantage was that I was not able to, like I did not have to ask my parents for money for the rent and all that. So yeah, that was a good experience over there.
Tell us about your flight school journey. What are some memorable experiences, highs and lows that you faced there?
So I did my initial flying from Alchemist Aviation, that's in Jamshedpur, and it was a great experience. Like you ask any one of my batch, it was a fun experience because we had a lot of we were facing with a lot of visibility issues and everything. I think everyone goes through things like that. But overall, the experience was super fun. Okay, made really good friends. Made a few of them like friends for life. So, and after that, I had for my multi and night flying, I had gone to MPFC Indore, Bhopal. That was also a very great experience because I got to operate, on regular basis from Bhopal to Indore and Indore to Bhopal. So, while we are taxiing and all that, we are able to, in our multi aircraft, we are basically lining up behind an Airbus or a Boeing aircraft. So, then things like if you remember in regulation we used to study that wake turbulence separation. Then those dots also connected later on.
So tell us about your first solo, which is often the most memorable experience for most pilots.
Yeah, the first solo I think is was a best experience that I ever had in my entire journey till now. I got my solo around 22 hours, and it was on a Cessna 152. It was, I think, Tango Alpha Mike. And so first solo, before they release you solo, the instructors are giving you, they are telling you that they normally tell you that they're going to release you solo and everything. In my case, it was slightly different. Like my instructor told me that if you're thinking that you're going to get solo today, forget it. You're not getting it. You might get it tomorrow, or the day after tomorrow. But after one circuit, he's like, okay, go. So yeah, it just came like a shock. Okay, because if when a person tells you that it's not going to happen today, and so you relax, and then it just happened. But overall, it was a very fun experience because in our over there we used to get solo only in the late afternoon. So by the time the thermals are less and everything. So yeah, that was my first solo experience.
What was your biggest challenge during flight training?
I would say, as a student pilot, all of us go through multiple challenges. Majority of it is waiting for visibility, all right, and waiting for our chances to, fly, because flying in India comparatively is slightly slower if you look at abroad, and it is something that happens with everyone. So I would feel the majority challenges is patience. Patience gets, this field is such that it checks your patience at every single level. Prior to your sequel, during your sequel, after your sequel, before your airline interview, after your airline interview, even after a job, it checks your patience. So I would say patience is one of the most common things that everyone is going to face. Like it just checks your patience at all stages of life.
So you did your type rating in Vietnam. How was that experience going abroad? How was it different from your flight training in India?
So Vietnam as a place, it was a very lovely place because we had good food, good weather. I would say the issue in Vietnam was very different. Like we as Indians, we majority of us know minimum two languages, that is English and Hindi. Over there's a big communication gap, as in not all people speak English there. So it was majority of the time when we are going to other places, it was like we are always on a phone, using Google Translate and just showing the screen to each other, and it was like that. So apart from that, the training was super fun over there because we had a very mixed batch of instructors. Some of them were Colombian, some of them were they were European instructors. So training was very fun. And as a city, I would say it's a beautiful city. Ho Chi Minh City is a very beautiful city. It's worth visiting. So I think everyone should take out time and go to Ho Chi Minh.
You've now secured a job with an airline and are waiting to start your flying. How long was the wait period from the time you finished your type rating to getting?
So from my type rating, I completed my type rating in the year 2022. 22. So it's about the waiting was about almost 2 years now. So I joined the previous year, in the end of the previous year. So yeah, after type rating also, your patience gets tested. So the waiting is there. I feel in Indian airlines, like if you look at all the airlines in India, there is definitely a waiting period is always there in all of them. So that is something that you'll have to be patient. There's nothing you can do about it.
You've now secured a job with an airline and are waiting to start your flying. How are you staying prepared for it emotionally and mentally?
So agreed. Like even after you join a company, there is a lot of time till you actually start flying, because you have a lot of processes and a lot of other courses you have to do that the airline makes you do. So again, it takes time. But only difference I would say is in the previous stage, prior to getting a job, is that you have to keep your licenses updated and everything. Now in this case, what happens once you've secured a job, the company normally takes care of it, right? Also, aviation is such a field that you always have to study, you always have to keep yourself updated. Every single day a new kind of technology is trying to come, so you have to keep yourself updated. And the best way to I would say the best way to go about it is like a lot of my friends, even in my room, like we always have our posters of the cockpit, and if you're just walking by, we'll have a glance and we'll just look at it and just keep practicing it. So it is more about keeping yourself updated and practice regularly to stay in current, so that you are in touch with the entire aircraft on a regular basis. And that is something that if you do it, it really helps during your training days. It's things just come to you on your fingertips, and you operate the aircraft very, very smoothly, and everyone's happy with you there.
What's your ultimate goal in terms of your career? Where in aviation? Where do you see yourself 5 to 10 years from now?
I feel 5 to 10 years down in this field, I should be, hopefully a captain captain in the airlines. And with the not just for the namesake, but I would say that I would be able to be an asset to the company, be able to train people, and be competent enough to be a like well knowledgeable and well practiced and good experience with good experience. So I feel 5 to 10 years down the line, even if like I just want to have the majority of the experience that I can have as a what a pilot would dream of to get.
Well, I'm sure with your motivation and enthusiasm and hard work, you will be there and you will reach all your goals for sure. We've spoken about your aviation journey so far. We would also like to know who you are apart from a pilot and what your hobbies are, what you like to do in your free time, what makes you laugh.
So I have a lot of hobbies. Okay, I am a lot into adventure sports, and I feel that is because of my friend circle. Because majority of my friend circles are from the defense forces itself, so we have a lot of activities that we do. Like it's like during the summer we are doing something, during the winter we're doing something. Like during the winter time it's more about going for horse riding, and during the summer we go for rock climbing, or even sometimes we plan trips to do scuba diving. But I would say majority of the time, like if on a weekly basis, what me and my friends do normally is that we play a lot of basketball. We go and play, we go work out in the gym and just have a fun time at it throughout the time. So that is what we normally do.
Who inspires you the most in life?
I feel my biggest inspiration, the biggest person who inspires me in my life is my father. And reason is since I've been seeing him in the uniform since I was a kid. I have seen how he has been carrying himself, how he has been because he was commanding a lot of ships. I've seen how what kind of responsibilities he was holding at on a daily basis, and still able to take out time to do other things, to take care of his family, to make to meet his friends and have a great time. So I feel my father was the biggest inspiration for this reason, because I saw a person that who was able to do so much in such a limited in such limited time. He was like that was the first time when I got like I saw the concept of what exactly time management is. Like you have 100 activities to do in a day, but you're so efficient that even after you complete those activities and you still have free time. So I feel that's why he was the biggest inspiration, and he's still the biggest inspiration in my life.
That's wonderful to hear. And I'm sure that you apply those same principles into your life as well, based on the conversation we've had today. I also want to ask you, what are your views on the importance of having a mentor for oneself, especially at the beginning of one's career in aviation?
I feel, a mentor is somebody who is very important. Okay, especially in our field, yes, because a mentor is not just your teacher. He is somebody who will guide you on how to, go about things, not just related to your career, but in other aspects of life. Presently, I feel, in our field, the field of aviation, things like discipline, self discipline are very important, and I feel that's why mentorship is something that is like very important. Like even these days majority of the airlines, they assign a mentor to you for during your training days, or even after you start flying, you always have somebody to guide you. And I feel since there is a lot of information regarding the field of aviation on the internet, there has to be somebody who guides you on the correct way to go about things. Like agreed, you might get all the, I would say, you can collect all the data, but till the time you don't process it in the correct way, it does not come in handy for you. So I feel that is mentor is something that is supposed to be like really important, because till the time it's like even if I show you the way, I have to tell you like how to go about it. So I feel that's the importance of mentor. Mentors are very important in this field right now.
I agree, mentorship is quite important in a person's life at any stage, especially in the very beginning. Even more so, individual mentorship, since personalities of various people are differing and you need the right fit for the same. So now we would like to do a rapid fire round with you. Dream airline or aircraft?
Airbus 350.
Airbus or Boeing?
Airbus.
Ground school versus simulator?
Simulator.
If not a pilot, what would you be?
Okay, this is a tricky one. Look, I'm not sure, because I always wanted to become a pilot. I would, if I'm not a pilot, then I would say a sim instructor.
First layover destination you'd pick?
Firstly, Dubai.
Window or aisle seat?
A window.
Your favorite aviation movie or book?
Aviation movie, I would say Sully.
Is there any message you would like to give to fellow pilots or aspiring aviators?
Yeah, I feel so. I consider myself very lucky that I did not have to wait for a very long time for since my type rating and joining an airline. So I feel this is the most crucial and the most tedious phase of every pilot, because now the thing is like you have put in so much effort, and you have in it, and you still don't, you are at that stage where you are like what to do, what not to do, because you still not joined the airline, like you're still not near your goal. So I feel during this time a person should focus on their mental health, as well as they have to like you have to study, like there's no beating around the bush, like you have to have follow a structured plan on a daily basis, that even if you study 1 hour a day on a regular basis, that is going to accumulate, it's going to get compounded into a lot of into a big value, and that is going to be very helpful. Also, to balance out things in your life, you have to have a few hobbies that help you to take your mind off it. So like in my case, like I was heavy into sports, so my day would be like I would study during the day, and in the evening I used to play with my friends, and by the time I come home I'm tired and I have a good night's sleep. So I would say that this is the message that I want to share with all the aspiring pilots, and and I hope they join the airline soon enough now.
That was Raunaq Sandhu, a new first officer whose story of hard work, discipline, and perseverance is inspiring to us all and shows us that the dream is worth it and you should always follow your passion and pursue your goals. Follow Pilot Mentor for more such episodes of License in Hand, where we bring you real stories of aspiring aviators to inspire you. I'm Hina, and we'll see you in the next episode of License in Hand.